Okay, now there's a lot to putting down your hoof, both in the plot and the morals here, but I'm just gonna go for it, so bear with me. But okay, so this is the episode to finally address the fact that Fluttershy is passive, and yeah, well, it begins. She's feeding her animal friends, and none of them will listen to her when she says slow down or anything. And then that darn angel bunny, he won't eat, and then she relents, gives him a nice salad she was gonna eat, and he throws that away as well, and demands that she make him a special recipe. And I mean, he slaps her when she suggests something else, but I mean, she relents, and then goes into town where everybody starts trying to rip her off. Some ponies, who I guess are one-off sort of characters, they cut in line at certain vegetable stands, and then some of the people selling, the ponies selling this, they raise the price on her, and then she finally bumps into Pinkie Pie and Rarity, who who notice what's going on. They tell her that yeah, she has a problem here. She needs to learn to be more assertive, and they start showing her how, helping her get what she needs by let's see, well, Rarity, she kind of schmoozes this nerdy pony who buys the last thing of asparagus, and sucks up to him, tells him that he's a big, strong hunk, and whatever she says. But okay, and then yeah, she butters him up enough to get him to sell back the asparagus, and then what else? Pinkie Pie, she actually pulls out Bugs Bunny's routine where the bidding on something at the 2 bits, 1 bit, 2 bits, 1 bit, 1 bit, 2 bit, like reversing it on him, and or on the lady selling the tomatoes. I think it was. But okay, so yeah, that they teach Fluttershy, but when she finally tries to put it into practice, she really wasn't meant to schmooze anybody, especially the grungy sort of cherry stand guy who tries to charge her 10 times as much as the cherry's worth when he hears that she needs it. And yeah, that doesn't work, and she gets Pinkie Pie's routine mixed up and actually ends up raising the price. So, and then finally, like, even this cherry guy starts giving her a lesson, like because another pony comes by and offers him 2 bits for it, and he accepts, which was 1/5 what he was going to charge Fluttershy, and then he just, too bad, kid, next time don't be such a pushover. So I don't know if that was him supposed to be giving a teaching moment himself, but anyway, she then when she serves the salad to Angel, it doesn't have a cherry on it, so he throws the salad out, throws out Fluttershy, and goes back to drinking his moonshine, I can only assume. But alright, so anyway, Fluttershy finds an ad in the mail, though, for Iron Will's assertiveness classes, this Minotaur who teaches ponies how to assert themselves. And she goes, and he calls her up onto the stage and actually makes her put one of his lessons into practice. And all his lessons are just like catchphrases that only semi make sense, but they all have when some pony tries to block, show them that you rock, which means knock them over. But yeah, just stuff like that. And okay, so she starts putting it into practice. She feels pretty good applying it when he makes her do it to one of his associates. That's the thing about this episode. It seemed like it was building something up with the goats that help Iron Will the Minotaur out. Like they take his orders via like these headphones. That they all seem to have this system running, this scheme worked out. But nothing really ever comes of that. They're just kind of in the background the whole time. And yeah, Iron Will, instead of what he's about, turns out to be a little bit different. But okay, anyway, Fluttershy starts putting his methods into practice. She runs into the same scenario when she goes shopping the next day, and now she pushes her way through everybody. But this actually ends up including Pinkie Pie and Rarity. Pinkie Pie, when they start talking about how this is new Fluttershy, she makes a joke that has nothing to do with anything. She's pleased as pink punch and puts a glass of pink punch on the table and starts laughing at her own joke. And then Fluttershy assumes that means that she's laughing at her, so she dumps the punchline punch on Pinkie's head and walks out all proud of herself again. And then they see her bully her way through a few more ponies and start to think that, okay, maybe this isn't such a good thing. And I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, the next day, yeah, she's taking it to an even worse level. It starts to just get really over the top, and they try to call her out on it. And then she actually just straight up tries to pick them apart, so like really insult them for Rarity being into fashion and Pinkie Pie being into parties. And I mean, she just picks them apart until they run off in tears. But then, as she's screaming after them, actually, there's a key line here. They say, "I can't believe what that monster Iron Will has done to you." And this is a recurring line in the episode, that he's not a monster, he's a minotaur. And yeah, she's screaming that after them when she looks down, catches a glimpse of her angry reflection in a puddle, and then she like tears up and just evenly says, "I'm the monster," and wanders back into her house crying silently. So okay, she repents, but now she doesn't want to come out of her house. She thinks that she's a screw up, that she's just hurting everyone she comes across. And Pinkie Pie and Rarity, though they do come back, they try to talk her out of it a little bit, just tell her, okay, we don't really blame you, you just received some bad advice. And then, just as speaking of Iron Will, though, he actually comes back to collect for his lessons now, but in Pinkie Pie and Rarity, they try to do their usual routines on him, buttering him up, pulling Looney Tunes gags on him, and yeah, they don't really work. He hears that Fluttershy's inside, so he tears down. She's like done that generic thing, nailing boards to the doors and windows to board herself up. He tears them down, and then he politely knocks on the door and demands that Fluttershy come out and pay up. So she comes out, and she just refuses. She just flatly says no. And I mean, I guess try it because she doesn't want to go back to just matching him like angry point for blow for blow or anything like that. So he starts trying to pressure her, but then she recalls that, as he said, what he said in his lesson was, if you're not 100% satisfied, you pay nothing. And she reminds him of that, and then he just keeps his word and leaves. Actually, he just walks up. Her final word is no means no, and he just says, okay, actually, that's a good catchphrase, and yeah, just walks off, wondering if he should open his next seminar with that. But, alright, so, it's all well and good, and, actually, I think this is actually the episode that Fluttershy needed. This, confronts her being passive, and it, examines the levels of being passive and assertive and aggressive. That's something you learn in maybe health class, just, they teach it, I think, in some part of school or another. But yeah, 3 levels of that. And, yeah, Fluttershy, obviously, she's passive. And I mean, it's not that she's nice. That's not a bad thing. But I mean, being just passive, letting people walk over you, take what is rightfully yours, that's a lack of self-respect right there. And that's a bad thing. So, okay, she starts out needing to fix that. And then she takes it too far and becomes aggressive. And, she starts hurting Pony's feelings and stuff like that. I mean, and she forces a rift between herself and her friends. So there's that. And then at the end, she learns how to be assertive, which is the right level to be at. She asserts herself. She insists on what's right. She doesn't budge. She doesn't resort to flaring up or anything like that. She just says it. So, and that was very well explored here. And, I mean, there's a lot that's pretty good about this episode, but I'm not sure I would quite call it a great one. Just, I mean, it might be the best, Fluttershy's best one so far, but I mean, kind of like the top contender to that, which was Dragonshy. It's pretty solid in theory, and I mean, pretty good idea, good execution. It's just there's something a little bit off about both of them here, and I mean, in this case, there's stuff like the Angel Bunny at the beginning. They almost take it too far with him. I mean, it's less that he's an ornery pet now, and more that it's like an abusive relationship almost. Like, he's just, I mean, he's being this passive aggressive pseudo friend, and I don't know. I just seemed like maybe overkill there. I don't know how else I'd put it. And then, of course, when Fluttershy is trying to be aggressive, it gets to the point where, I mean, some of it is just plain silly. The innocent mailman mixes up her mail, and as he's apologizing for it, she stuffs him in a mailbox and sticks a postage stamp on him and mails him somewhere, which, I mean, it's kind of funny, but I mean, I don't know, it's just someone, like, it's not always perfect. Some of it is kind of silly, like, I don't know, some of the ponies that cut Fluttershy in line are supposed to be like the Hilton sisters, which, and actually, I guess that's pretty, I can't criticize that too much, that's pretty funny, but I think the first ones that do it don't actually get theirs, so I mean, I don't know, but, alright, so, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't quite, like, sync it perfectly, but, I don't know, it comes pretty darn close. It's, I mean, in many ways, it's just a very good episode, and I mean, there's a lot to go through here, too. I think, yeah, Iron Will is actually a lot of fun. He is sort of Hulk Hogan. He's striking poses and being mechanical in how he moves and using those catchphrases of his. And I mean, he does push around Pinkie Pie and Rarity at the end, but I mean, it's almost in a cartoonish sort of way. Like Pinkie Pie is doing her Bugs Bunny routine with him, and I mean, it's like stretching her neck in this pretty funny image to meet him eye to eye, and then she gets in his way that some pony tries to block, show them that's your rock, applies that again, and throws her into the mud, and I mean, and it's, when you actually do that to someone, that's pretty sad, that's invasion of space, but I mean, just like, the way both of them are getting in each other's face is kind of cartoonish here, it's sort of meant to be just a comical butting of heads, so, okay, that's fine, and then, actually, the twist here is that he actually isn't such a bad guy. I mean, even after he leaves, actually, they call him a monster again. But I was genuinely surprised by that one. That's where this episode goes above and beyond, because I really thought they were going to put the blame on him, just like put it all on his head, and yeah, make Fluttershy feel better. See, it wasn't really your fault. It was his. It was just, I mean, you learned a lesson, but it was his fault. But no, it wasn't. He actually doesn't try to insist on anything he doesn't have a right to insist on. I mean, he's a little bit of a bully, but I mean, it's just, like I said, he's not really a real bully. He's a cartoonish sort of, just like Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's more supposed to be how he's over the top than how he's, like, rude or anything like that. So, okay, so, yeah, but when, Fluttershy points out that that was what he said, I mean, well, actually, even when he's just coming to collect, he doesn't actually start out trying to intimidate Fluttershy. He tears down the boards that are blocking the house, and then he just politely knocks on the door. And, I mean, the whole thing is just supposed to be him asking for what was agreed, that she pay him, and then, you know, it's her job to bring to his attention that she's not satisfied. But then when she does, I mean, he tries to, you know, reconcile that. I mean, obviously, if you just say, I'm not paying because of that stipulation applies, you have to bring that into question, or else everyone would do it, but he does. She says, maybe I'm the first, but I'm not satisfied, so, and that's that, so he keeps his word and leaves. So, I mean, it's like, and ironically, by not trying to fight her on whether his points are in and of themselves bad, he proves they're not in and of themselves bad. They were just maybe wrong for Fluttershy, or maybe she took it too far, but then okay, and she had to learn, and she does, so very well done. And I mean, and just the comedy of that, there's, I mean, this episode does not drag at any point. It's a lot of fun there, like how they play scam each other with the salesmen at the beginning, or saleswomen, either or here. That's a lot of fun, and that's Fluttershy trying to do both Rarity and Pinkie Pie's routine when she was not meant to. That was a lot of fun. And I think it's kind of deliberate that this episode picked Pinkie Pie and Rarity, because Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash and Applejack, of course, would not take crap from anyone. They would just like strike right back, and they wouldn't budge, and they'd know what to say. Well, Applejack would know what to say. Rainbow Dash probably wouldn't have, but she probably would be a bit of a jerk about it. But I mean, she wouldn't get pushed out. She would just take you on head on, and then Twilight would be reasonable about it. She would be calm, and she'd probably already have the right approach. But no, Pinkie Pie and Rarity, they're the two who you do believe wouldn't just be flat out assertive, that might throw this sort of, might not have the perfect solution. Like they're not really being assertive, they're being manipulative here. So yeah, it's like they don't have the perfect example. We need to see Fluttershy find the perfect example at the end. So that was, and also that they're the two who might be, besides Fluttershy, most inclined to shy away. Like I guess maybe Twilight would, I don't know, tear up and run away after being picked apart. But I mean, yeah, that's, so I think I think it was a very deliberate choice to use them, and a good one. So okay, well done there. And but yeah, just so instead of watching them solve the problem the right way at the beginning, we just get to watch them play up the comedy. So we have fun with that, and get to have fun with that. And what else? Oh yeah, the Angel does get his at the end. He gets Fluttershy's stare again. So I'm assuming that the town should count their blessings at being spared that, because it seems like that's her real knockout move here. But okay, so let me see. And then later on too, when she actually starts asserting herself, like we get to see. I'm not sure if these were supposed to be the same two Hilton sisters. I don't think they were, but yeah, just these two garbage lady ponies. They stop right in the middle of a bridge to tell each other a joke right after Iron Will's seminar. So Fluttershy starts calling them out, and they ignore it. So she actually kicks the wagons full of garbage they have, upends them on the two, and I mean the way I mean they're actually, that's the other thing. Fluttershy starts to get mean here. You think that a couple other ponies would try to fight her on that instead of just being like shying away, but so apparently there's an intimidation factor lost in translation. But yeah, they just, the two of them the whole time. That's kind of funny. They're just bantering back and forth. Like, oh, I love jokes. Okay, so this mule and a donkey, and then yeah, Fluttershy. I mean, they're supposed to be a little bit annoying, so a little bit of gratification. Fluttershy kicks the garbage onto them, gets them to get on with it already. And they're just like, all right, lady, geez, take it easy. So, okay, just, yeah, kind of fun watching her at first stand up for herself in this over-the-top, rude kind of a way. That's fun to be had there, but yeah, you can tell. I mean, but actually though, that's, I guess, the last point to make, that you do buy this progression for Fluttershy. I mean, in spite of all the comedy and the energy here and the creativity, I guess, with how they get into it, it's a true journey for Fluttershy, because one, you can see why she gets so into this. Why, I mean, right after she overcomes her fear of standing up for herself, or asserting herself, I guess, saying something back at very least, that she kind of starts to like it. You know, it feels good not to have to worry about that anymore. You feel like that. I mean, it feels like, I'm sure she can be proud of herself. I mean, that's, I don't know. Well, I'm sure everyone has a scenario kind of like this. You know, when you finally just suck it up and go for it, and it works. You know, you feel proud of yourself. And I mean, it's even when, I don't know. Well, obviously, at first, you could argue that she's not too far gone. That, I mean, it's acceptable what she's doing, but I mean, either way, she's asserting herself. It's working, and you can see why she would like that. You know, she starts to feel like, okay, she's got it figured out. She can carry herself with her head held high now. But okay, but yeah, then though she, like I said, she takes it too far. She starts to enjoy it a little too much. She gets mean. She gets sadistic even, and I mean, okay, that's believable that, you know, someone lose their head like that, because I mean, this just 15 minutes ago in our time watching this was the solution. This was what she was supposed to be doing. So I mean, it really hasn't. It's only half entered into her head even that this is wrong. This is not what she's supposed to be doing. You know, she's still on her crusade to be more assertive. So I mean, even when she's starting to be sadistic, it's kind of understandable that, yeah, she is. I mean, she feels like she's finally taking the upper hand, and then, but then there's the moment, of course, when she catches a glimpse of her reflection, and I mean, that is top to bottom, that is a melodramatic idea, and I mean, so gotta give this show full marks for not making that something I can really call them out on, because I don't know, somehow just like bring it right to the line, threatening to uh, cross the line, but I don't know, they just don't overplay it, and I don't know. I mean, it's like the cynic in me is waiting to be able to call them out on that moment, but I mean, it's just like I found it, gratifying. I mean, it didn't rub me the wrong way, and in its technicals, I can't say it didn't work. It's like, yeah, Fluttershy, she's screaming up a storm, and she catches a glimpse of herself in the puddle, and I mean, it's not like, they do add a little bit of dramatic music afterwards, and they do that at one point, but yeah, she's like, doesn't, she just evenly says, like, yeah, Iron Will, or she's screaming, Iron Will's not a monster, he's a Minotaur, and then looks down, just evenly says, I'm a monster, and I mean, that's like, and they don't, like, telegraph that line, they just, like, she says it, and then it sinks in, and you kind of realize, like, the effect here that, yeah, like, Fluttershy just gave herself all three strikes in that moment, and yeah, goes back into her house, tells herself she's done. So okay, there's that, and then I already said the moment at the end where she finally figures it out. It's like, okay, full circle. So this was the episode Fluttershy needed, possibly her best one so far. I mean, like a couple of her episodes, there's something that a little bit off with it. Like, it's not quite the knockout you hope for, but I mean, it's pretty good. So and yeah, it does address her being passive. So well done. That should put the issue to rest, I'd like to think, because I mean, everything with that, as far as I can tell, everything that needed to be covered was covered. They did a very good job. So looks like they've brought Fluttershy full circle on that arc at least. So on being passive, I know she's still kind of a scaredy cat maybe, so I'm sure they'll have more to develop in her. But all right, we'll see. And the next one is time. Something with time. It's about time. Something like that. I'll tell you when I get to it. So see you there.